News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Denise Pellegrini. President Trump's trade agenda is leaving consumers worried about their household costs. According to a new Harris poll for Bloomberg News, the poll shows 56% say their household finances would be better off if Trump's tariffs had not been implemented. 69% expect higher costs for everyday goods as a result of the tariffs. 49% believe the tariffs will be bad for the economy. And 3 in 5 respondents report cutting back on spending due to concerns about a potential recession. 16% say they haven't yet but expect to soon. And the poll had a margin of error of 2.5 percentage points. It was conducted May 8 through 10. Losses on Wall Street yesterday ahead of the long Memorial holiday weekend as President Trump ramped up tariff threats against the EU and also Apple. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, though, says he expects several large trade deals to be announced in the next couple of weeks.
My sense is over the next couple of weeks, we're going to have several large deals announced.
And Bessent there with Bloomberg Television's David Weston. Some possible signs of progress in trade negotiations between the U.S. and Japan. Japan's chief trade negotiator Ryosei Akazawa says he aims to resolve tariff talks in time for a June meeting between President Trump and Japan's Prime Minister. He spoke after a phone call between President Trump and Japan's Prime Minister Ishiba, as well as after President Trump's approval for a partnership between Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel. The president says U.S. Steel will remain in the U.S. and keep its headquarters in Pittsburgh. More from Bloomberg's Charlie Pellet.
The president credits his tariff policies for the investment. Trump says the partnership with Japan's Nippon Steel will create at least 70,000 jobs and add $14 billion to the U.S. economy, with most of the investment occurring in the next 14 months. The announcement came after the White House confirmed Trump received a recommendation from the Committee on Foreign Investment in the U.S., which reviewed the proposed takeover and follows a previous block by President Biden citing national security concerns. In New York, Charlie Pellet, Bloomberg Radio.
Thank you, Charlie. Nvidia reportedly planning to launch cheaper Blackwell AI chips for China to avoid U.S. restrictions. The report from Reuters cites unidentified sources saying the graphics processing unit will be part of Nvidia's Blackwell AI processors and priced at about $6,500 to $8,000. The old H2O set cost considerably more, $10,000 to $12,000. New sanctions may be headed Russia's way. Sources say the European Union considering cutting over 20 banks from the SWIFT banking communications system and banning the Nord Stream gas pipeline as part of new sanctions to increase pressure on Russia to end its war against Ukraine. Ukraine's capital coming under a large-scale Russian drone and missile attack overnight and into early today. A district judge has granted Harvard University a temporary restraining order, blocking the Trump administration from enforcing a ban on international students at the school. The ban imposed by the Department of Homeland Security would have affected about a quarter of Harvard's student body. The White House says Harvard has become a hotbed of anti-American, anti-Semitic, pro-terrorist agitators, something Larry Summers, former president of Harvard and former Treasury Secretary, is pushing back on.
This will damage the university's finances in a serious way, but that is the least of the problems. Much more important is what it means for the standing of the United States as a country.
And Summers is a former president of Harvard. International students make up about a quarter of the student body at the university. Many pay full tuition. X is still facing issues from an earlier data center outage. That's according to the company's engineering team in a post on the social media platform. Login and sign-up services are unavailable for some users on the former Twitter, and there may be delays in notifications and premium features. Some of the issues also came up yesterday. And that's News When You Want It with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Denise Pellegrini. This is Bloomberg.